Welcome to Twig Your Man channel, where today we dive into the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected philosophers of Stoicism. His thoughts, penned in the solitude of his tent during long military campaigns, resonate through time and continue to inspire those seeking tranquility and strength in a turbulent world. Join us as we explore some of his most powerful quotes that teach us about self-mastery, resilience, and the art of living well. Whether you're familiar with Stoic philosophy or just looking for some motivational guidance, these insights from Marcus Aurelius will provide you with valuable perspectives on life and personal growth. How cruel to forbid people to want what they think is good for them, and yet that's just what you won't let them do when you get angry at their misbehavior. They are drawn towards what they think is good for them, but it's not good for them. Then show them that. Prove it to them, instead of losing your temper. Our inward power, when it obeys nature, reacts to events by accommodating itself to what it faces, to what is possible. It needs no specific material. It pursues its own aims as circumstances allow. It turns obstacles into fuel, as a fire overwhelms what would have quenched a lamp. What's thrown on top of the conflagration is absorbed, consumed by it, and makes it burn still higher. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance. Never regard something as doing you good if it makes you betray a trust or lose your sense of shame, or makes you show hatred, suspicion, ill will, or hypocrisy, or a desire for things best done behind closed doors. If you can privilege your own mind, your guiding spirit, and your reverence for its powers, that should keep you clear of dramatics, of wailing and gnashing of teeth. You won't need solitude or a cast of thousands either. Above all, you'll be free of fear and desire, and how long your body will contain the soul that inhabits it will cause you not a moment's worry. If it's time for you to go, leave willingly, as you would to accomplish anything that can be done with grace and honor. And concentrate on this your whole life long. For your mind to be in the right state, the state a rational, civic mind should be in. You've given aid, and they've received it, and yet, like an idiot, you keep holding on for more, to be credited with a good deed, to be repaid in kind. Why? Some people, when they do someone a favor, are always looking for a chance to call it in, and some aren't, but they're still aware of it, still regard it as a debt. But others don't even do that. They're like a vine that produces grapes without looking for anything in return, a horse at the end of the race, a dog when the hunt is over, a bee with its honey stored, and a human being after helping others. They don't make a fuss about it. They just go on to something else as the vine looks forward to bearing fruit again in season. We should be like that, acting almost unconsciously. Yes, except conscious of it, because it's characteristic of social beings that they see themselves as acting socially and expect their neighbors to see it too. That's true, but you're misunderstanding me. You'll wind up like the people I mentioned before, misled by plausible reasoning. But if you make an effort to understand what I'm saying, then you won't need to worry about neglecting your social duty. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Let your intention be. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I will deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like the feet, hands and eyes like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. Everywhere, at each moment, you have an option to accept this event with humility, to treat this person as he should be treated, to approach this thought with care so that nothing irrational creeps in. When people injure you, ask yourself what good or harm they thought would come of it. If you understand that, you'll feel sympathy rather than outrage or anger. Your sense of good and evil may be the same as theirs or near to it, in which case you have to excuse them. Or your sense of good and evil may differ from theirs, in which case they are misguided and deserve your compassion. Is that so hard? Even if you're going to live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, remember you cannot lose another life than the one you're living now, or live another one than the one you're losing. The longest amounts to the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. Its loss is the same for everyone, and it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost. Or you can't lose either the past or the future. How could you lose what you don't have? Remember two things. One, that everything has always been the same and keeps recurring, and it makes no difference whether you see the same things recur in 100 years or 200 or in an infinite period. Two, that the longest lived and those who will die soonest lose the same thing. The present is all they can give up, since that is all they have, and what you do not have, you cannot lose. Death, the end of sense perception, of being controlled by our emotions, of mental activity, of enslavement to our bodies. The first step, don't be anxious. Nature controls it all, and before long, you'll be no one, nowhere, like Hadrian, like Augustus. The second step, concentrate on what you have to do. Fix your eyes on it. Remind yourself that your task is to be a good human being. Remind yourself what nature demands of people. Then do it without hesitation, and speak the truth as you see it, but with kindness, with humility, without hypocrisy. On the verge of dying, and still weighted down, still turbulent, still convinced external things can harm you, still rude to other people, still not acknowledging the truth that wisdom is justice. Yes, keep on degrading yourself, soul, but soon your chance of dignity will be gone. Everyone gets one life. Yours is almost used up, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. At festivals, the Spartans put their guest seats in the shade but sat themselves down anywhere. Look at who they really are, the people whose approval you long for, and what their minds are really like. Then you won't blame the ones who make mistakes. They can't help it, and you won't feel a need for their approval. You will have seen the source of both their judgments and their actions. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities the people around you have. This one's energy, that one's modesty, another's generosity, and so on. Nothing is as encouraging as when virtues are visibly embodied in the people around us, when they're practically showered with them. It's good to keep this in mind. Your ability to control your thoughts, treat it with respect. That's all that protects your mind from false perceptions, false to your nature and that of all rational beings. It's what makes thoughtfulness possible, and affection for other people, and submission to the divine. How to act. Never under compulsion, out of selfishness, without forethought, with misgivings. Don't gussy up your thoughts. No surplus words or unnecessary actions. Let the spirit in you represent a man, an adult, a citizen, a Roman, a ruler, taking up his post like a soldier and patiently awaiting his recall from life, needing no oath or witness. Cheerfulness without requiring other people's help or serenity supplied by others. To stand up straight, not straightened. Nothing happens to anyone that he can't endure. The same thing happens to other people, and they weather it unharmed, out of sheer obliviousness or because they want to display character. Is his wisdom really so much weaker than ignorance and vanity? If you do the job in a principled way, with diligence, energy, and patience, if you keep yourself free of distractions and keep the spirit inside you undamaged, as if you might have to give it back at any moment, if you can embrace this without fear or expectation, fulfillment in what you're doing now as nature intended, and in superhuman truthfulness, every word, every utterance, then your life will be happy. No one can prevent that. We have various abilities present in all rational creatures, as in the nature of rationality itself, and this is one of them. Just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment and works around it, turns it to its purposes, incorporates it into itself, so too, a rational being can turn each setback into raw material and use it to achieve its goal. Enter their minds and you'll find the judges you're so afraid of and how judiciously they judge themselves. To feel affection for people, even when they make mistakes, is uniquely human. You can do it if you simply recognize that they're human too, that they act out of ignorance, against their will, and that you'll both be dead before long. And above all, that they haven't really hurt you. They haven't diminished your ability to choose. Have I done something for the common good? Then I share in the benefits. To stay centered on that, not to give up. Many lumps of incense on the same altar, one crumbles now, one later, but it makes no difference. Nothing that goes on in anyone else's mind can harm you, nor can the shifts and changes of the world around you. Then where is the harm to be found? In your capacity to see it. Stop doing that, and everything will be fine. Let the part of you that makes the judgment keep quiet, even if the body it's attached to is stabbed, or burnt, or stinking with pus, or consumed by cancer. Or to put it another way, it needs to realize that what happens to everyone, bad and good alike, is neither good nor bad, that what happens in every life, lived naturally or not, is neither natural nor unnatural. It's time you realize that you have something in you more powerful and miraculous than the things that affect you and make you dance like a puppet. What's in my thoughts at this moment? Fear, jealousy, desire, feelings like that? Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do this anymore? If an action or utterance is appropriate, then it's appropriate for you. Don't be put off by other people's comments and criticism. If it's right to say or do, that is the right thing for you to do or say. The others obey their own lead, follow their own impulses. Don't be distracted. Keep walking. Follow your own nature and follow nature along the road they share. The mind is the ruler of the soul. It should remain unstirred by agitations of the flesh, gentle and violent ones alike, not mingling with them, but fencing itself off and keeping those feelings in their place. When they make their way into your thoughts through the sympathetic link between mind and body, don't try to resist the sensation. The sensation is natural, but don't let the mind start in with judgments, calling it good or bad. If you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live with it in a consistent way. Unhelpful unless you specify a goal. There is no common benchmark for all the things that people think are good, except for a few, the ones that affect us all. So the goal should be a common one, a civic one. If you direct your energies towards that, your actions will be consistent and so will you. Someone despises me? That's their problem. Mine not to do or say anything despicable. Someone hates me? Their problem. Mine to be patient and cheerful with everyone, including them, ready to show them their mistake, not spitefully, or to show off my own self-control, but in an honest, upright way, like Phocion, if he wasn't just pretending. That's what we should be like inside, And never let the gods catch us feeling anger or resentment. As long as you do what's proper to your nature and accept what the world's nature has in store, as long as you work for others' good, by any and all means, what is there that can harm you? The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it with a run of thoughts like these. 1. Any way you can lead your life, you can lead a good one. Lives are led at court, then good ones can be too. Things gravitate towards what they were intended for. What things gravitate towards is their goal. A thing's goal is what benefits it. It's good. A rational being's good is unselfishness. What we were born for, that's nothing new. Remember lowly things for the sake of higher ones, and higher ones for one another. Things that have consciousness are higher than those that don't, and those with the logos still higher. Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. Just remember, you can enjoy anything your mind can make endurable by treating it as in your interest to do so, in your interest or in your nature. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or, more accurately, do what is essential, what the logos of a social being requires, and in the requisite way, which brings a double satisfaction. To do less, better. Because most of all, what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? But we need to eliminate unnecessary assumptions as well, to eliminate the unnecessary actions that follow. Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand and ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You'll be embarrassed to answer. Then remind yourself that past and future have no power over you, only the present. And even that can be minimized. Just mark off its limits. And if your mind tries to claim that it can't hold out against that, well, then heap shame upon it. The despicable phoniness of people who say, listen, I'm going to level with you here. What does that mean? It shouldn't even need to be said. It should be obvious, written in block letters on your forehead. It should be audible in your voice, visible in your eyes, like a lover who looks in your face and takes in the whole story at a glance. A straightforward, honest person should be like someone who stinks. When you're in the same room with him, you know it. But false straightforwardness is like a knife in the back. False friendship is the worst. Avoid it at all costs. If you are honest and straightforward and mean well, it should show in your eyes. It should be unmistakable. It is normal to feel pain in your hands and feet if you're using your feet as feet and your hands as hands. And for a human being to feel stress is normal. If it's normal, how can it be bad? To erase false perceptions, tell yourself, I have it in me to keep my soul from evil, lust, and all confusion, to see things as they are and treat them as they deserve. Don't overlook this innate ability. That every event is the right one. Look closely, and you'll see, not just the right one overall, but right as if someone had weighed it out with scales. Keep looking closely like that, and embody it in your actions. Goodness, what defines a good person? Keep to it in everything you do. It's all about how you perceive it. You're in control. You can dispense with misperception at will, like rounding the point. Serenity, total calm, safe anchorage. Thank you for joining us on this philosophical journey through the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. His words remind us that even though centuries have passed, the quest for inner peace and ethical living remains as relevant as ever. We hope that these reflections have inspired you to cultivate serenity and strength within your own life. Remember, It's not external circumstances that define our lives, but how we respond to them. If you enjoyed this video and wish to delve deeper into the world of philosophy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more content like this. Share your thoughts and any favorite quotes of Marcus Aurelius in the comments below. Until next time, keep pondering and let the wisdom of the ancients guide your path.